Hi there. In this video, we're going to look at building a very quick form to demonstrate what a form submission will look like in Salesforce, how we can capture information in Gecko and push that across. Also, exactly how does it look when we send a text or an email to a student through Gecko? Does that arrive in Salesforce and in what kind of format? Now, to illustrate this, we're going to have our form here. We're going to begin by asking a very important question, which is, who are you? In full who form, we're going to say student or parent. Now this is going to be important because we're going to tell Gecko that we only want to sync this form submission if it's a student submitting this particular form. Now from here we're going to capture a name, email address, we're going to capture a telephone number, and I noticed on my completely fictitious student profile just here that we don't currently have a level. So I want to this is just a random arbitrary field that I've picked, but we don't currently have a level, so let's absolutely fill that gap in as well when we push over all of the information. Now I don't have that mapped, so let's remedy that. Let's go to settings in Gecko, and I'm just going to save my form really quickly as I juggle my screens around. We're going to go to integrations, if I can spell it correctly. We're going to choose Salesforce, and we're going to say to Salesforce, there's a level field. I don't currently have something in Gecko that already exists to map it to, so let's create a brand new list of options. It's going to be a drop-down single choice, and I do want you to go ahead and import the correct options list, which is great. I mean, in this instance, it's not so bad because there are only 3 options if you did have to pull it across, but imagine if it was a list of 250 odd countries or 400 different programs or majors or minors that you offered. This can be a huge time saver. So we've correctly got that set up now, so let's jump back to our form, we'll give it a quick refresh, and we can see that we now can ask that level question to the student. Oopsie, that's the wrong level. We've got 2 named exactly the same, which is confusing. Perfect. 2 things that we need to do then. Firstly, let's set up a workflow on our form saying, if anyone submits this form, I want to email them with an email, and I also want to send them a text message straight away on their telephone from this number. The second thing that I want to do is tell Gecko that we actually do want to set a condition on this. We only want to sync this response if the student says they're a student. If it's a parent, we have no interest in this information arriving in the CRM. So one of our actions can be synced to CRM. Of course you don't need to set this up every time. If every single person was going to sync across and you knew it was only students, you can tell Gecko, hey, automatically sync everyone. Don't even worry about that workflow malarkey. Perfect. So we've built quite a complex form here. We've got a little bit of conditional logic in here dictating whether or not this syncs. We're capturing name, email, telephone, and we're opening that level thing. And we're hopefully going to see, as a spoiler alert, some activity here being updated as a result of our texts sending. So let's go ahead and throw in this submission. So firstly, I'm a student. We'll get my horribly fake name in here as well. What's the email address I chose? What a daft email address. There we are. And we'll say, let's go tertiary. I'm feeling tertiary today. Excellent stuff. Now, within Gecko, that workflow will have triggered. We're going to be trying to sync this. It'll probably take, it's usually about 20-30 seconds or so. So I'm going to pause the video and hopefully when we resume, we'll have that information. Just to say, I have just received my text message just there. There are things happening. Just before I pause, we can see here's the text message we sent and here's our email. So we'll see if that pushes across at all. Okay, some good news. The sync has completed, so we'll see what that looks like in just a moment. But on the Gecko side, Salesforce has given us a receipt. We have the ID of the contact that we've updated with, and that's now linked to this contact going forward. If we hop over to Salesforce and give it a quick refresh, we will notice that it's merged into the existing contact, so we still have the name and the email address, but that tertiary level has synced across as well, so that was very simple to set up. And lastly, in the activity timeline, we can see some information right here. So we can see the text message that was sent. We can click into this and read that it was actually gibberish, making no sense to anyone, but that record is there. We also have exactly the same for the email, the date that this was sent, and the full content of the message as well. So very, very quick and easy to get set up. Hopefully this was helpful.